Hello, everyone, and good evening. We are live with Final Fantasy V Career Day. We have a third place match between Alastair and Freddeh. Uh, there is some money on the line for this. I am Fiery Blizzard. I am joined today by Judge Joe on commentary, Dry Slizer on tracking. How are you doing today, Joe?
I am doing great. I'm really looking forward to this match, and hopefully it'll be a really fun one for everyone to watch.
Yes, this should be a very interesting match for sure. Uh, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Career Day, what we basically have is the go mode is to get all 4 tablets, as you can see by our tracker. We have 1 tablet to start. We just need 3 more tablets. And we also need to get through Xstuff's Castle in World 2 that requires the anti-barrier and the bracelet. So we are looking for 5 key items in total. That doesn't mean that we're just going to get 5 key items right off the bat. But we'll see what our runners have in store for them tonight. What is your guess on the starting job tonight, Joe?
Dancer, because I chose the seed value this time.
And the other question, do you think Fork Tower is going to be required?
I hope it is. I enjoy when it's required.
Anyways,
But
our racers are on a 10-minute delay. They should be starting up anytime soon, so we will see what our racers do from the immediate get-go in a couple of seconds.
Berserker is a good start, especially if you don't find any other early jobs.
I don't know, given the race, the seed value you gave, I think we might see a night start. I think that would be interesting. I don't think I've seen a night start this tournament.
I've rolled a practice one, but not in one of the races. It was a lovely practice night start. Here, go have a brave blade and tool. Trap chest.
Let us hope that there isn't overwhelming power immediately in Kuzet Castle in World 2, but our runners are off. Both our runners are going to go immediately north here. Well, we see Freelancer as our starting job.
The other job that can wield all of the best swords.
So we do see both our racers going north into Tycoon Castle. There are a fair number of chests here, and there's also a single hint to pick up. There are 5 hints in each world, and World 1 and World 2 are open on these settings, so we start with 10 hints that are open to us. The 5 hints in World 3 are not open unless you have the Mirage Radar for 2 hints, or the Trench Page and the Submarine Key for 3 hints. We will see if that makes a difference in this race.
Yeah. So far, nothing too much. A little bit of money from random items. Power Ring isn't the worst accessory early on.
But we're certainly hoping to see more power. Freelancer does give us a lot of utility really quickly. There's the Knight. Wasn't starting there, but there you go. Double Lance is also a very nice weapon early, and also late game if you're doing some strats with a ninja. We do see Here You Call is present in World 2. Maybe it is vanilla. So there are 5 Path to the Void hints in any given seed. Those are our Way of the Hero for those of you who are familiar with Ocarina of Time. If you follow a Path to the Void hint, you will get to something that leads to a required item, whether or not that is the anti-barrier or the bracelet, or one of the 3 tablets that we need to get to. See, both our racers going into Pirate's Cove.
One good thing about the Knight is if we get a good sword, it'd be a pretty solid job to spend a little bit of time in, maybe go and get double grip to increase our physical power by wielding one weapon in 2 hands. And if we master it, it has some pretty strong physical stats for the Freelancer job.
Yeah, and there are a couple other things about Knight that are also pretty important depending on how the seed goes. Knight has a pretty fast HP growth in terms of leveling, so if you're afraid of Almagus, having a Master Knight will generally mean that you don't have to worry about your HP. And also getting Knight Strength is also a decent thing about it too. The last thing about Knight is the cover ability. If you set up your party correctly, you basically can make your entire party immune to physical attacks.
Yeah. I see we got a Gale Boomerang from somewhere. Freddie sold it for some money to buy early consumables, cabins, Phoenix Downs if we can find them.
There is our cover ability for free anyways, if you wanted to do that strategy without having to go through Knight. We will get our second hint here. Barrier Tower is Path to the Void, so our submarine key is required.
And we get our first trap chest. Oftentimes you'll get some sort of a weapon from it, so we'll see if it's a good one.
Avis Killer is not bad.
It's either 10,000 gold or it's an okay early game bow.
It's a bit interesting using bows when you don't have aim. Pretty low accuracy, but you'll take what you can get in terms of damage. I don't know if it will be better than just the double lance that we got from Tycoon.
Huh. Tiaras and Tool. That could be important to remember.
I want to think about picking one up anyways.
Yeah, if you have some extra money after you've kind of looked through these for your consumables, or just feel like you have, just getting one in preparation for if we get the dance ability or the dancer job. Well, RNG dependent. The Tiara does allow dance to be 50% swords dance, which deals quadruple damage, so is one of the fastest forms of physical damage when it works.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Final Fantasy V Career Day, it is the key item randomizer, open world randomizer for Final Fantasy V. But within it, we also randomize the placement of any job, any ability, any spell. Black magic is not tied to sword magic here. They are completely separated. And shops can obviously have abilities or items or spells as well. In this particular flag set, we do guarantee that every job and every ability is available. So we know that something game-breaking like Mix is somewhere in the seed. We do see a show in Surgate Castle in World 2. Alastair is our first one into World 2. We also see Gollum, so if we ever find some in 3, we're pretty set.
Meanwhile, Freddie went and shopped Licks, where we found both Hunter, equipped bows, and Berserker, so all of which have various uses. Hunter, if you get it early enough, can master for X-Fight. Berserker, if we can get set up with Rune Axe and then either Thornlet or Giant's Glove, is a very strong source of physical damage. And if you just want a little bit more damage, Berserker with equipped bows does have higher stats than the base Freelancer to get you going.
We do get White 6 from the book in Surgate Castle to go along with that Cure 3 that we got in Pirate's Cove. That is very, very nice to see early on, or even late. Just having the ability to cast Cure 3 really does help. Either against certain bosses like the triplets, or there it is, our 4th tower is Path to the Void. So that was not held in suspense for very long.
It's not unhinted. You know early. Be ready, be prepared. We are getting Kara today.
Yes. So for Fork Tower, if you're familiar with the vanilla game but not familiar with Career Day or the randomizer, Fork Tower access is not defined by the shrine. It's defined, however, by the Elder Branch and basically causing Galuf to unfortunately die and getting Kara on your party, because otherwise the game will crash if you try to go through the Fork Tower cutscene with Galuf. So the Elder Branch is going to be hard required in this seed. But we could still see something like burning areas are barren.
Big Guard, Holy Lance.
Seeming very interesting here in terms of what we've seen. Do get the black level 4 ability. Yes. Chemist in Kusa Castle. Get Hero Song from the single chest above Wind Shrine. That is a place for hero song for sure.
So
Sort of a hmm.
lamp, chemist, the Holy Lance, and maybe a gold hairpin if you end up going magical are the main things. The Man Eater is also a decent pickup, but not the most strongest, but definitely not a weak one.
I mean, if you have Chemist, that's an automatic win for me into Kuzla Castle. Chemist is, as a job, pretty weak, but the ability to learn Mix is arguably one of the most broken abilities in the game. So the earlier you find it, the better, because that just means you're using it for lower powered bosses, and it doesn't hurt you as much. You just learn Mix, it's just a level 2 Chemist ability, and then you never use Chemist again.
Speed song to go with hero song if we were to choose sing strats as opposed to mix strats. And Freddeh is continuing to push some of that early World 1 with the just grab and go power of Freelancer.
Absolutely. I mean, that's generally what I'll tend to. It's sort of two schools of thought about whether or not you want to stay in World 1 and do World 2 a little bit later, or whether or not you want to jump into World 2 immediately. We do see the third tablet at the ship or at Torna Canal, which actually is a pretty big advantage to Freddeh. Uh, just getting a second tablet to loot out Kusa Castle a little bit more on his first trip in. We also do see running shoes.
North Mountain Path of the Void.
It's gonna be one or two. What do you think? Or both?
Both.
But yeah, running shoes from the, I think that was the Brave Blade chest in more. So not going to reset out running shoes. Haste is arguably the most broken status in Final Fantasy V. It could be summon 5 for all you care on the other side. It's still, you're going to choose running shoes 100% of the time.
The only one that maybe has any consideration instead would be, I think, Giltoss. But that's about it. There's Bard, so with the hero and Sing, that's Sing strats 100% online.
Alastair, of course, not having Hero Song, but already having Chemist, probably not going to go for that Bard. Freddeh might consider it, knowing Hero Song on the table, depending on whether or not he does more before or after going into Sealed Castle. I expect with 2 tablets, probably not going to go and skip Sealed for much longer. Do get the big bridge key.
World Hint. 3rd tablets in World 1.
Useful. Magic Sword level 2 might not seem like a lot, but that means we do have the ability to use the Mute Blade and the Sleep Blade that we bought on Alastair's side. We also did see Slash in the Kelp shop here. That is something that I would immediately pick up just because that gives you your way to kill non-heavy bosses.
Yeah, a pretty important part, especially with Fork being required, is just sort of collecting your insta-kills. Because bosses in Final Fantasy V have not 1, not 2, but just 3 different status effects that allow you to just insta-kill them. It could be Doom via death weakness. It could be they're not heavy, so anything that doesn't, that such as Odin, Slash, or Deathclaw will work on non-heavy enemies. Or they could just be weak to Petrify. Lots of good ways to one-shot bosses.
Yep, and we will see what the back is. Trench Page is in World 1. I'd rather have a hit for the sub key. But there's your dance ability. In Carwin here. For freelancers, so dancing items can easily be equipped. It looks like Freddeh is going to go and pick up a tiara right now.
Yeah, with Freelancer and the multitude of weapons, that is definitely a solid pickup. RNG may not be in your favor, but if you're just trying to go fast, it's definitely works. We did see it in more village. We saw Kaiser Knuckles were for sale, so if we have any inclinations of using our fists, those will be a must pick up at some point.
Yeah, but Freddeh is content to staying in World 1. Alastair is going to tread a little bit of what Freddie's already done, just on the fact that he did World 2 before really digging into World 1. Should be able to catch up fairly quickly, just because he has quite a bit more power going into these boss fights, especially this Liquid Flame coming up.
/ woodwork on this hero plant.
That it would. There is your fist.
But we are missing both Kaiser Knuckles and the Brawl ability. Oh yeah, it's a human. Yep. No wait, that's just the Rune Edge.
But Hero Plant is a human. And one swing from Alastair does take care of the Liquid Flame. Is going to pick up his hero song. And I believe we'll probably pick up Mix just by going through the Torna Canal.
Yep. I missed we got Fire 3, so if we get Black 5, that's one of the best sources of magic damage, especially with the Wizard Rod. Oh, and there's
the Ice 3.
Couple less bosses weak to ice versus fire, but still nice to collect all of your elementals.
In fact, we kind of just fought one of our bosses that are weak to ice in 2 of the 3 forms in the Liquid Flame, so we don't really have all that much left. Break right there, and we did get Black 4 as our reward from the Wind Shrine. So that is something we are able to make use of immediately, one of those instant kill abilities.
Yep, so that's 2 of the 3 seen in the seed. Magic Sword 3 allows for Mute Blade.
White 4 is going to feel a little bit silly, but you take it, and then when you find out that White 6 is currently in a book. White 4 is interesting because it doesn't really get you... It gets you Shell.
It gets you Shell, it gets you Image, but it doesn't get you any of the higher powered healing or Holy.
We're going to see what our other hint is in World 1. Burning areas are barren. Okay. That doesn't matter because we have to go through 1 to get to Fork Tower.
I guess that means if you get the steamship key, you could go and fade Karnak Escape. But there's a lot of loot available in there, so I'm not certain if the runners even would do that.
And Freddeh is seeing White 6 immediately after buying White 4. Gives a little head shake there. We know someone that would have to press a button for that one, but that's neither here nor there. Freddeh is now doing his World 2 checks, and Alastair is going through World 1, so we're sort of circling around from each other. Does see the Fork Tower Path of the Void hint after seeing burning areas are barren, so is probably laughing a little bit on the inside on that one too. Combination shows up more often than you would think.
I mean, there's not all that many actually burning areas, with it, I believe, just being more forest and Karnak Escape. So it's doesn't take much for burning areas to be barren.
No. The way the hint system works in Career Day is that there's a range of types of... There are several types of hints, and there's a range of the number of those types of hints that can be in a seed. There are guaranteed to be 5 Path to the Void hints in any given seed, and then there are direct hints, which basically say this item is in this location. There are world hints telling you that this item is in World 1, 2, or 3. There are barren hints, which are actually the lowest ones in terms of frequency, which tell you that this type of area has absolutely nothing. and there are 15 hints in total. Most of them are generally world hints, I think, in any given seed, or Path to the Void hints, because there's a guaranteed of 5.
There is a maximum of 3 Baron hints. However, with how the randomization of key items works, there is no guarantee to be 3 Baron areas. And there's tablet 3 for Alastair, so evening back up on that front.
You might see it more often with having trap chests enabled. So there is a setting in the randomizer to have trap chests have key items. We did do a tournament with that last year, I believe, where you're more than likely to see more barren areas just pop up because trap chests will generally densely populate key items in a particular type of area. So no big surprises from Freddeh in terms of his 6 tablet selections, I don't think.
Yeah, the big thing will be finding out whether Freddeh goes and gets the running shoes anytime soon.
Yeah, some people like to hold off more for a bit, especially if you know the Elder Branch is going to be kicking around somewhere. But
I am one of those people.
yes. It's interesting, too, in this case, not only because, we now have quite a bit of money, so going to more seems more prudent now. For me personally, I like to avoid doing World 2 until I get enough money where I don't have to do any return shopping. See, Alastair is going to go through the Odin at the end of Ship Graveyard. Freddeh is going to go directly into Moogle Waterway.
We have
Decent
Dam.
checks.
Should be very, very doable. Running shoes would make it more doable, but as is, should be fine.
Well, you're sort of hoping in this case that whatever boss is here, you can just break it. It is 5,000 HP, which with this setup will take a little bit of time.
Definitely hoping for a breakable boss, but you also almost want the breakable bosses to show up a little later in, say, More Forest or Fork, where you can chew through 30,000 points of damage with one spell.
No, I want to see Necrophobe
Yeah.
and Deep Void. Come on.
I mean, fine.
You can break that.
Want to see that.
Well, I mean, look, you can break Necrophobe at the end. Well, you can break the early part of Necrophobe. You can break the barriers.
Just need a wall ring to reflect it, or is break non-reflectable?
No, it's show.
Okay, yeah, if we get shout, you can do that for sure.
So unless you have time, I guess you can try jumping here. This is a very unfortunate boss to see. You're just gonna have to time your jump and get a little bit lucky on when Titan's gonna or who Titan is going to actually attack.
Yep, it looks like Freddeh is doing a bit of math to attempt to time out the jump.
Now, ideally, if we picked up that Sage's staff and equipped it, you could put Lena, who's our jumper, in critical so that it's automatically covered by Gelf. Unfortunately, Gelf didn't cover or guard that particular turn, so this gets a little bit tricky now.
Now you need to either resurrect, have enough health after, or you can't, or take the hit.
So there's the Earthshaker, but you're just dead.
And we're going, and I don't recall if we saw Freddeh do North Mountain yet, but...
Nope, but Alastair is the one who has the hint saying North Mountain is Path to the Void. We don't know whether or not it is going to be this first spot, or that is the Megisa spot, or the Bahamut spot in World 3. It could very well be both. Saw that last race. In Alastair's last race against me, actually, it was a double North Mountain hint, in which North Mountain 1 gave you access to North Mountain 2.
And speaking of the North Mountain Path to the Void hint, there was on Freddie's side, along with...
All right,
Running
we're not gonna see the chicken knife chest. So, unfortunate. We do see one of the freest of bosses up in North Mountain 1 being the Abductor. And there's a trench page.
Unknown.
Yeah, we don't know, and we're not going to know until we get the sub key.
But
Freddeh does pick up the Bard.
And Doom. If we get Black 6, that'll be the third source of insta-kills. Although, with Mix, if we had, say, Dark Matter, that's another source of Doom available to the runners.
I think Alastair is just going to try to fully clear World 1 before returning back to World 2. That would be my guess. There is Monk and Waltz. So you can have your Monk Dancer.
Brawl is pretty fast. It's always better to get a shop. It's cheaper and don't have to spend the time learning it in Monk, but it can be worth it if we don't have any really high-powered weapons for the Dancer.
Yeah, in this case, with both Knight and Hunter being possible jobs, the HP that Monk gets you isn't really much of a concern. We'll get HP naturally from the two jobs that we're mostly using. We do see Greg 1 here at Bow Castle.
We don't kill.
No.
Not with that loadout. If we did get the kill, we would get some extra XP, which would be helpful, and an elixir, which is always a nice thing to have in your inventory.
And we do now know that the North Mountain 1 is at minimum Path to the Void, because we just got a direct hint from the Scholar and Walls saying that the trench is Path to the Void.
So that's 4 of our 5 Path to the Void hints. Barrier Tower, Trench, North Mountain, and Fork.
And what is interesting about it is that the submarine key locks, currently in terms of the loadouts that we have and knowledge we have, the submarine key locks both Barrier Tower and the Trench page. So it'll be interesting if we find the anti-barrier and the bracelet before we find the submarine key or outside of Barrier Tower. We will know exactly how that works, but when you think about it, because Fork Tower is Path to the Void, I don't think it's possible that the anti-barrier and the bracelet are both outside of Barrier Tower.
It is possible, but that means there's a tablet in Barrier, and it means the Elder Branch is from Fork Tower, or it means the submarine key is in Fork Tower. Or Elder Branch is from Trench Page. So it's still possible, but is unlikely.
We shall see.
Getting at least the hint from Kelb, and maybe it'll be a Hiru Valley check, since it looks like Freddeh has been trying to do a couple World 2 locations.
So one of the changes that was made in a recent update was that you can just talk to the citizen on at the table rather than going back to Kelger to grab that hint. Saves a little bit of time. Freddeh is going to pick up that slash.
Heal. Soul Cannon, if we had lightning, very weak to it. Otherwise, you just gotta kill it before it kills you.
And it is difficult for Soul Cannon to kill most teams because the way Soul Cannon works, it builds up to Surge Beam, which does exactly half your health and that gives you a sack. So as long as you're well healed, you're not going to die.
The most annoying thing is the little ones, which we saw Alastair directly target first, will have an individual person's health and give the old status effect, which reduces their level over time.
And the Giant's Glove.
So now we just need a Rune Axe and to have bought the Berserker.
Yeah, but we do know we're getting rid of
there's
Gallo.
a Rune Axe. I don't know where it was, but there's a Rune Axe in Freddie's inventory.
Again, we are going to have to kill off Gallo because we need to get the Fork Tower, so we're going to actually need both the Giant's Glove and the Thornlet in order to continue underflowing with a Rune Axe.
If you don't mess with Kara's loadout in any way, no ability swapping or anything, once she's swapped from Galoof, the stats don't quite change over, but once you go and change job or anything, it will convert it into Kara completely. With
That
the
is
higher
true.
magic and speed.
We do see that the anti-barrier is in World 2, so we'll see if we get a submarine key early. That will be our tell about exactly how the seed is going to go.
And this will be the Giant's Glove for Freddie, so we'll see if he chooses to hunt down Berserker or if he feels pretty good with the loadout he has. Because he did see it in Licks, it's a matter of if he remembers. With the night job that he's been using, if you have two-handed underflow Rune Axe, can be very, very powerful. And he looks like he's getting Berserker.
Also play around a little bit with using like equipped swords to give Knight strength on a Berserker, but that doesn't actually improve anything. But you would have to have the Berserk Crystal for this, which yes, Freddie is going to take. So I imagine we will see exactly what you just said, and switch over to Berserker on one character, equip that Rune Axe. Well, and one character, I mean specifically Galv, who has the lowest base magic of any character in Final Fantasy V, exactly the amount needed to underflow the magic here.
Oh, and we even have double grip prepped and ready. So, should be able to see some pretty large numbers out of Galoof. Anywhere from 4,000 to 8,000. Good old damage variance.
When it hits. Which is definitely not a guarantee with axes. We actually see Freddie prioritizing learning Bard, particularly Sing, rather than learning or leveling up Cadmus from Mix. To me, that's an interesting choice. You're more likely to find Sing just somewhere in the seed than you are to find Mix. But you see Greg 3 here. Probably just best to let your Berserker swing once.
Yeah. Either a dance from the dancer would probably also do it, so...
There's the miss. And
that should probably be enough to tip it into Enkidu phase.
Yep. Unfortunate. A little bit of time lost there. We only needed 1,500 damage to get rid of Greg 3 before Enkidu showed up.
Did about 1,200 damage, I think.
Well, we'll find out exactly from this White Wind. Never mind. White Wind does something different. There's that swing. 39. Oh, there's some in 3 in... it looked like just a general item shop in World 1. So I think this is... No, wait, no, this is actually Jacole's weapon shop. Yep. Okay.
Oh, and Revivifies and Antidotes and Phoenix Downs.
That is definitely a decent shop there. Some people will skip that.
Decent chance some runners might need to go extra hunting to get those things.
Can't imagine who you're talking about.
Hmm.
We do see the catapult check 32 minutes in. From Alastair being the first one. Freddeh is going to double back from where Alastair was and is going to go up North Mountain, get his trench page. Will probably follow nearly the same line, I imagine, as Alastair did. We see some pretty distinct, or some distinction between our two racers in terms of their loadout. We'll see how that plays.
Yeah, I think from a pure number and damage perspective, Freddeh does have a slight advantage, but in checks cleared, I think Alastair has done a couple more. However, Freddeh has peaked a bit more of World 2 knowledge-wise.
I think one of the bigger things that separate actually is having Nyx already out for Alastair and also picking up that Summon 3. Although, again, not picking up Slash, I believe, from Kelb. So still no way to kill non-heavies instantly, but otherwise does have that ability to break both by Black and by Summon, as well as putting Golem up if you didn't feel like using your Knight for that purpose.
Califisteri, so the Man-Eater would be effective. An Artemis Bow, if we found one, would also be effective. Otherwise, just there's not too much health here, so just punch it to death.
Yep, and we see Freddeh going into the library, grabbing the hint that says Anti-Barrier is in World 2. We knew that already. Is he going to check the front of the library? I'm thinking about it.
This isn't sure on save status, so is going to the
Sandworm bait that he got from Bow Castle. There's Sing, by the way, in I think that was Crescent. So yeah. And equip harps if you wanted something for say the Apollo's harp if you get it. So we do actually have Dispel. We did pick that up. If you had something with, or if you had a character with White Mage on, you could Dispel Timmy and then do something like Slash. We do have White. Might as well just throw it.
That's a lot of white magic.
I guess I thought Freddeh had Dispel. Maybe it's Alastair that has Dispel. No, Freddeh got it from Moore. It was in the Moore barrel.
Yep.
We see some black chocobo. A pyramid page.
From desert, you get the ability to go more desert.
Yes.
Sand.
You see Freddeh going into the library again, is going to check the front of the library. This is one of those interesting checks that sometimes you like to hold off until you have the ability to full clear it all at once with the Ifrit's Fire. When it works, and when it doesn't, it can burn you very badly. So Freddeh is being a bit more comprehensive in his World 1 and is going to check the front of the library. We'll see if that pays off or if it is just, a minute and a half of time wasted.
Alrighty. Do we have... Well, we should have the heal if I remember, but you can't heal if you're a toad.
But we do have Maiden's Kisses. We do see Omniscient here in, I believe this is the Lanka Meteor. We do have Magic Sword 2 and the Mute Blade, so not really a problem there if we wanted to go that route.
We're getting closer, still need a bit more levels before we can just one-shot it with the Berserker, but we're getting there.
With the shell status, it's not, or with the armor status, it's not happening unless you Dispel first. There's the Elder Branch, we know that is required. So yes, front of library, you cannot be fitting it for that long. We know in terms of items that is not going to lead us to a submarine key or anything important at this moment. We just need to do it in order to get into Fork. So it's looking like that anti-barrier is probably going to be in Barrier Tower.
It's looking pretty likely at this point, which would leave Subkey in a couple more World 1 locations or the Mughal Water Titan or Hiru Valley or the Big Bridge, I think.
Yep.
So here's Omni using Bio.
Some damage, not a lot. Omniscient is weak to wind. Apocalypse is weak to bio. But you do damage however you can. Do you get that meat blade off?
Considering
And
selling Dark
there is
Matter,
Dispel.
considering selling the Holy Lands, but keeping them for at least a little longer, which makes sense.
Yeah, getting rid of Holy Lance when you have X-Stuff in his castle weak to Holy. Probably want to hold on to that for a little bit. It won't really do all too much damage, or it'll do less damage than you probably think, but if you have it on someone with Dance, it will still do quite a large amount of damage.
Yeah. And Alastair mathed it out correctly and does not trigger a reset. Oh, also probably mute. Is
Yeah,
still
add new
going.
blade.
And
There's
there's
the
the
bracelet. So Lanka Meteor is required. That is one of our 5 absolutely required key items.
So adding the bracelet already does mean we could go and get we could get the anti-barrier in one of those 3 available World 2 spots. Just a little more likely.
Yes, but this is interesting because if we do get the submarine key from from World 1 or World 2 before we enter Barrier Tower, we're going to be in go mode. You do not have to fight any of X-Stuff's castle bosses. You know exactly the path for your seed. You go to submarine, you go to Trench, you go to Fork, and you follow whatever chains go from there. The only issue is whether or not Fork gives you 2 key items, in which case you have to figure out which one you want to go to. But either way, it will be interesting. Is looking like a jet seed if you are reading your hints correctly. Again, assuming that the submarine key is not... well, even if the submarine key is hidden, we know where it's going to be hidden from. It's going to be hidden from Fork.
Yes.
So, either way, you should not be doing any of the X-Stuff bosses except maybe Greg 1 if it's required.
Which... and we have the bracelet, so it's less likely Greg 1 would be required.
Yes.
Yeah, it is interesting. An early sub key is both a jet, and a non-miss early sub key also tells you everything you need to know.
Yep. You should
Good
not
hint.
be doing any boss other than possibly Greg 1 in X-Stuff's castle. Because we have 3 key items remaining. We have the 2nd tablet, 4th tablet, and the anti-barrier. We have 3 paths to voids that we don't have... we have not been able to get to. They all have to link to each other in some fashion, so... And we're going to have access to all 3 of them once we get access to World 3 and the submarine key. So...
And also interesting is we have Mix, we have Hero Song, we now have Blue Mage. That might just solve what I was about to ask. What is our X-Def kill method?
Well, I very much doubt it's going to be death by math. But who knows? Maybe someone can pull it off on this race. I'd be happy to see it, as long as I'm not the one doing it, I guess. But I sort of doubt it.
Breakblade would make that a lot easier. It's not great, but AoE Arrow 3 is a method.
Yeah, so it's interesting if you have Mix, which we do, or Hero Song, which again we also do, if you just raise your levels, you're gonna more than likely get Condemn from X-Def in his castle. In fact, it's pretty much a guarantee that his first turn is going to be Condemn. So that takes care of the back part for you. If you have Breakblade, you take care of Almaguest, but really, if you increase your levels to, in the 90s, you're probably hitting a Dark Shock on Almaguest either way, which reduces the damage from Almaguest considerably. And then you just have to hit 3 Dark Shocks on the top 2 parts, and then you L5 Doom, and you are just done. Here is Megisa at the top of Hiryu Valley. Non-heavy boss. Cannot be broken, but can be slashed.
And we see Alastair using stop. Doesn't last long, but it is a potential method of skipping the death counter. It really doesn't last long.
Yeah, there was a particularly rude Castle XFC in the finals of that tournament where Titan was very much hard required, and if you did not have a way to stop Titan, you were just simply not getting through it.
We have float also.
And there's Titan.
And there's Megisa. Whew, that's a big number.
Hiryu Call, which was hinted. And we got Life 2.
Nothing.
So, we chased a Hiryu Call. Well, we chased Big Bridge into Hiryu Call would be my sort of routing here.
If you're worried about your power, you can do Hiryu Valley because of its chest, but otherwise, those route a little nicer.
Freddeh is going back into World 1 and doing the catapult check, and probably going to take that through to Lanka Meteor Omniscient, which we know is required because that holds our bracelet. Doing what I like to do and just using the catapult beds here to heal up.
There's extra doors and 3 chests, which sometimes do hold value.
And more often than not, hold a lot more money than it probably should. So every chest in the game has a tier associated with it, and so does every item, including the guild chests. So things like the catapult chests are low tier. I think they're probably assigned them tier 3, maybe tier 2. But there is an overflow built into the randomizer setting, so sometimes a chest can roll quite a bit higher than what it's actually assigned to. This is sort of to give it more randomization. Otherwise, you'll know exactly where to look at every given seed to find what you want.
Another thing to note with that Blue Mage pickup, yes, we're trying to figure out convenient setups for our final fight. We do have Big Guard available from Kuza if we haven't already picked it up. So even if we have to go for a less great setup, Big Guard does make most, if not all, setups possible.
Yep. And like I said, as long as you don't get confused which one is level 81 and which one's level 83, Death by Mathing, when you have levels from either Mix or Sing, is not actually all that bad. If you don't have levels from that, then it gets terrible. Because your chances of hitting Dark Shock is low. We do actually see Mind Blast in the Blue Mage list from Alastair. So we do actually have a way to lock down the Grand Cross part, which is actually pretty important when it comes to doing Death by Math strats, especially if you're getting pretty unlucky in terms of the ability to hit. You were talking about Breakblade before. Again, with the increased levels, the chances for Shoke to hit are also significantly increased as well.
So we have Big Guard, we have Mind Blast, we have Cure 3. As long as we have MP Restoration, we can just kind of sit in that fight for nearly forever.
And of course, the best, there's Summon 3. Freddeh exited out of that shop and then thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. The best way to generate MP with Blue Mage strats is, of course, Fusion, which I believe we saw no one picked it up. But is my favorite way to cycle through if you're using blue mage strats. Fusion is basically a free elixir for any character, with sort of the downside that the character that uses fusion will take a nap. But if you are smart about the setup, you can basically give your party infinite elixirs. So,
Do we have Dispel ready? Do we have the damage ready? Or
I
are
think
we able to
Freddie's.
just use the little levels?
I think Freddie is currently trying to figure out who is it that has this or who has white on right now. Because you would very much like.
Not you. Not quite. I've seen bigger numbers, but a little bit of besides the armor. Oh, an arrow 3, yeah, should be enough.
Yeah, 3,300 HP here, so yes, another swing just like that from Galf will indeed give us a way through. If you really wanted to be particularly bad about it, you could mix together a haste drink, or in this case, a kiss of blessing, because we don't have turtle shells. We do see Alastair going into the Hiryu, to the Ziza fleet. I don't know why I was about to say Hiryu Call, but we did get that, so it makes sense.
Because that's the item you used to get here.
Alright, the question is, are we going to see a vanilla submarine key?
No.
No.
We didn't see Big Bridge, right?
I don't recall seeing it.
As long as I'm going anti-barrier is Big Bridge.
Okay.
Or
Well,
I guess anti-barrier could just be here. I'm going anti-barrier is one of those two we are not getting. Are the odds on my side? Probably not.
there's the anti-barrier. Alright.
So we know that's Gomo. Nope. We need the. Where was the Elder Branch?
Elder Branch was front of library.
So Alastair needs to go to the front of library.
Yeah.
100 at this point.
He's not going to find the submarine key without that, which could very well take him out quite a bit. Because that is, unfortunately, a check. Well, Ifrit's fire is at Big Bridge, so that's going to be a bailout for Alastair, assuming that he does not forget that he has the Big Bridge key. That is possibly the best item for Alastair that could have been there. Probably the worst item that Freddie could have found. But we do know exactly how the siege should end in terms of what we need to do. We need to go to Fork to get at, or we need to go to more Forest using that Elder Branch to get the Fork Tower access. That will lead us to our submarine key. It does not have to give us submarine key directly, but one of those key items will give us the submarine key. That will then give us access to both the trench page and the barrier tower, which will in some chain hold our last two tablets.
And we see Alastair starting to clear Castle X. It's not going to lead to anything we need, but it's a play that makes sense with what Alastair has.
The scary part about this is any key item that we get from Alastair's side here from any of the X-Stuff's castle, not only is it just sort of wasted time comparatively to what you may know if you just happen to check the front of the library, but it's also something that could force Alastair to go away from where he really should be going. And so, let's say this is something like the Shrine page, might be tempted to go through Shrine to check for the Elder Branch. Especially if he's forgotten Big Bridge. Big Bridge is a very quick check, though. But he may be waiting to beat Xdef in his castle before doing it. Which unfortunately is just not the right decision here. Because that Ifrit's Fire would eventually lead you into what you would know is Go mode.
Magic Sword level 6. I don't think we have any of the big important magic swords, but it's always nice.
Yeah, I know Bolt 3 Sword was somewhere. That's really sort of the only one I remember seeing. Freddie
And
is going to be doing Thesis Fleet now, is actually pretty, I think, just out of checks. So, last location on the anti-barrier here.
has the second library check now, but other than that one, I believe is out.
Fair enough. And we will see if Freddie can piece together that this is going to be go mode for him, depending on whether or not he takes any more boss fights after this.
Yeah.
You have Blue Mage, you should pick up Exploder, Alastair. You haven't seen Apocalypse yet. There we go.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is the residential boss Blue Mage of Final Fantasy V. And so if you use Exploder against Apocalypse, he will want to show off his skills and that he can do it better than you can, and will use Exploder, and you're done with the fight.
What are our levels looking like on Freddy's side? Because
22, 23, I believe.
we might get some people at 25 after this fight. We'll have to check that.
Yeah, something tells me Freddy's a little bit probably not wanting to use Death by Bath strats
Not
against X.
for Castle X Death, but
There is a break sword, by the way, in X-Death's castle. So that is important for
and a ribbon.
for your Neo X-Death if you want to go that route. That will take care of your Omegast.
26, 26, 26, 25. Do we learn level 5 Doom?
Again, just remembering how long it took Freddy to get through X-Death.
Yeah. No, it's more of a I still don't know what I'm doing against final fights type of learn, and less of a Castle X Death, so
No, and that's fair for sure. I think
you can think about it while you head through Castle X Death. If you put the pieces together, you will get no XP in Castle X Death.
Yeah, that is correct. But it looks like if Freddy's taking that save, yeah, he might not be piecing it together that he is in go mode.
It is a little bit. Some of those hints were early, and you might not think. You might not quite think about it that both trench and barrier tower do mean that's double tablet at this point.
Yeah, when it comes to Career Day, it's a little bit interesting because the only item that really does there's a chicken knife in a non-trap chest, so this X-Death castle is very loaded in terms of loot. But it's interesting because in Career Day, there's really only one key item that can cause a bunch of branches, and that's the submarine key. But because we know where the submarine key must be, we're going to be just... we don't really have to go searching for it. Get an Artemis bow a little bit too late. Looks like Alastair is going to be taking this Hunter all the way to X fight. We'll probably then just use an X fight chicken knife user. That would make sense. Freddy is going to get his break blade and ribbon more than likely in X-Death's castle. Not many people do skip the chests here. They are relatively high tier. 5s and 6s all around. The maximum tiering of any item is tier 9. That is what we reserved for the Samurai Job Crystal, the Mix ability, Guild Toss ability, and if we did not have it already, the Freelancer job. But we did get the Freelancer from the very start because that is what we started with. We do see Siren here at the Califisteria spot, so luckily for Alastair, a very quick fight. We did get the adamantite from that spot, though. That is more rabbit holes, which we know will lead to absolutely nothing of any value unless you consider possibly Mirage Radar. But it is always very possible that the Mirage Radar could be through Fork.
Yeah, any key items that don't... It's... The more of these checks that just sort of give abilities, the better it is for Alice. And I guess... Freddeh too.
We did get the Carbuncle Esper. We can't cast it. That is a summon 4 summon. But it's always nice to see. If we had L5 Doom, we saw Dark Shock in his shop, we can sleep Atmos. So Sleep Blade would stop Atmos from doing anything. Does not seem to be going that route, but it is a possibility. But if we had L5 Doom and Dark Shock, we would be able to kill this just with a combination of 1 Dark Shock into L5 Doom.
Don't hit the Berserker.
So I'm sure Dry would mention sleep is underutilized. But there are a surprising number of bosses that are weak to sleep. Granted, if you have Berserker, it doesn't really matter because Berserker will just wake them up.
It's fine. Berserker goes smack for 5,000 plus. That's a good source of damage at this point.
Dry is bringing up the fact that you could mix the Kiss of Blessing to Berserker. That is a Maiden's Kiss and a... Why am I blanking on?
Revivify.
Revivify.
Yep.
Something that I just see in my inventory and just do it.
Oh, and with that Magic Sword 6, Alastair does have Flare Blade.
Yep. We do see Freddeh getting through it earlier on the power of that Underflow Berserker. Just a
No
Defender
more
Sword.
change.
But I have to imagine that after this, Freddeh is going to go directly to Fork Tower, or take on more Forest to chase that Fork Tower, and that should get him pretty quickly on the path to that sub key.
Yep. We're still missing a fair bit of key items, so we could be something like Mirage Radar to Shrine to Waltz Tower key to Steamship key.
To
Now
give the submarine key.
Yep.
The chain ends with the submarine key, and then it could just go from there, but we'll know exactly there. The only possible fork in the road is literally Fork Tower, because it can give you 2 key items.
Do you want the Mirage Radar or the Shrine page?
If you don't choose Mirage Radar, I'm questioning some decisions of you. There are certain gambles that make sense. I don't think that would be one that would make sense.
Yeah, at least go there for shopping, and it's definitely a bit quicker, even if the boss is tougher.
All right, we're gonna see pretty simultaneously Castle Exta fights here. As I mentioned, we'll open up with Condemn more than likely. Likes to condemn the person who is hasted because, of course, 32,000 HP here.
Ooh,
after
there we go.
After 16,000 damage, we'll go into his second phase, in which he will do 2 attacks, some portion of the time against your party. You have a way to block physicals. Dynamo is very... it's pretty often to see, to the point where it's almost wiser to have your Zerker in the back row to start a fight, which of course then means that when Dynamo comes out on that second turn, Xdef will probably just miss your Berserker.
But that Quad 9's the Berserker started off, and just even in the back row, that Berserker is tearing through Xdef.
Yep. but will be in time to save Ferris.
No.
Or Lena.
Yeah, Lena's alive!
We see a whole bunch of blue mages on Alastair's side, dancing with that Holy Lance. Luckily, you don't have to worry about your row when you're using a lance, so just keep dancing.
Mhm.
So Freddeh should go directly to Moor Forest. And that's what it appears to be. Well, when you find
I
something.
haven't flown here from Castle X Death, so makes sense to not necessarily know the best route all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm terrible for the number of times I've done World 3 into Shrine. It's bad. Like, it's just a little down to the left, but I am very bad at that short flight. A Time Mage Crystal here in Moor Forest. Moor Forest does have some decent loot as well. I don't really think we have much for a Time Mage that we can't get from Time 3, though.
Maybe quarter, but eh.
I could be wrong. Time Mage does have a decent amount of magic, so...
You can give Time Mage equip axes and give him the rune axe.
So we'll also see what is interesting about Fork Tower is a lot of times you like to rearrange your party going into Fork Tower to make sure you have the sort of most coverage possible. Freddeh cannot do that on Kara unless he wishes to lose the underflow. So we will see if Freddeh is cognizant of the fact that you cannot touch Kara once she joins your party.
Might go send a time summoner to assist the Berserker and just hope it's not one of the bosses that heavily punishes a Berserker.
We have all three Black 5 spells now. Alastair does get through Exdeath's castle.
Odin.
We do Odin. We can't cast it. We still need summon 4. We'll see what Alastair does here. It's a pretty big moment. He needs to go to... He can do this in World 3. He can do library from here. But really the key is he does have to chase that library as soon as possible.
Yeah. And let's see what boss has a big old pile of hit points, but not necessarily the most attack. It's Biblos!
You could condemn Biblos. You absolutely can do that. Just condemn him, haste, and then haste.
Oh yeah, you can haste Biblos.
Well, if you condemn and then haste, it takes the timer to 15.
We are missing Fire 3. If we have Slash, we could set it up.
I mean, Freddeh did buy Slash. Unfortunately, doesn't have it on anybody.
Could trust in the Berserker.
But condemn would not be that bad of a choice here. And then to haste it.
I'm losing trust in the Berserker.
Alastair going back into Kusa Castle, going to pick up 3 more tablets or 3 more items. It doesn't look like that Big Guard is taken, but I may just be misremembering which one is Big Guard.
It was like the second one.
Yeah, I thought it was the spear. And that item looked like it was still there. So Alastair is going to do the full library check in World 3. It's definitely something you can do. Will he check the song as well? Looking like he's going to get L5 Doom here. I didn't check Alastair's level, but I'm guessing somebody is. Divisible by 5 is going to pick that up.
Okay.
And how lucky does Alastair get? I have had this take minutes. Way too many minutes.
I've come in here with a monk and regretted my decisions.
Counter is an ability. Freddeh is free that Biblos. We know that this is not going to lead to anything except for Gale of Steph's. We do get a Summoner Crystal, that's nice, and we know both our racers going to find that because despite it being Baron, we do know we need to go to Fork. That is going to go real nice with that Odin summon that we just got. So that is go mode for, well, that's further go mode for Freddeh. But looks like he's going to pick up something here from Kelb.
Golem.
Fair enough.
And Exploder.
Alastair is not going to pick up the speed song the magic song, I believe, from the library.
Alastair is leaving.
And yeah, unfortunately is leaving. We know that is the wrong choice here. Even worse, he does have, I believe he has the pyramid. I don't know if he did Sandworm. If he did, he would have the pyramid page. But he might not have at this point. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate. For the library is the answer.
Hopefully Alastair ends up heading there at some point. Maybe we get the Mirage Radar with some goodies for him. That would be the big thing that could really bail him out. And hint.
So if I'm Freddeh, I'm absolutely putting 2 summoners on. I'm setting a summoner to each side, knowing that I have Shoot and that I have Odin and Golem.
And I hope to also pick up a Black 6, but otherwise just send Nyx, because we do have at least one Dark Matter, and we should have a second from beating up the Atmos. So that's all of the insta-kills.
I feel like a lot of it comes down to how well can you prepare for Fork Tower. Like, how efficient are you at putting your party together in this particular case? How can you basically optimize your party so that you get the fastest kills? And if something unfortunate shows up on one side, can you get around it? Sometimes the answer is no.
Berserker to the second boss fight feels risky.
Well, we have already seen Omniscient, so that is nice.
Oh, yeah.
We do have the Magic Lamp, so if we do somehow unfortunately see, say, a vanilla Minnow, we could Magic Lamp to Golem. I think we have the Magic Lamp.
Just a Dragon Fang. Couple good mixes you can go with it, but nothing too wild from the Boko check.
Now, if we had that Dragon Whip, you could make a boss dragon.
Second running shoes. No.
I don't think I've actually seen that being used in Career Day, using the dragon mix to make a boss dragon, and then using a dragon whip to hit its weakness.
Part of that is usually, I think, we just tend to have, and then the Dragon Fangs are a little rarer to find.
Oh yeah, and you're not going to spend money to do that. They're expensive enough item that you're not spending 15,000 to set that up. But we do see Fork Tower play. There's our Bahamut. So if we see something like Crystal Guardians or Triplets, well, we have our answer in Bahamut too. Well,
Odin and Golem.
There's our Minnow. This is actually the best case scenario because we have a knight on this side. The way you win this fight is basically just covered. It's probably going to have to take a reset here. But if you set this up correctly, and that is basically have one character be at critical HP entering the fight, and you can do that just outside Fork Tower. Send your knight in the same fashion, or the same team. All knight has to do is cover, and you're through. I do see the Necro at the Odin spot, so no Necro for us today in the Void.
The runner's
Unfortunately.
probably happy.
That is still alive then. We can do image spam through Minnow. Unlike the vanilla game, though, Minnow will have enough MP to cast Holy. So you do need a second. Well, a Knight probably has enough HP, assuming the Knight hasn't been hit, to survive a Holy cast. But this is interesting because you could theoretically make this free if you decide to damage a character to critical HP before entering Fork Tower, and then just using Guard. We do see the choke kills of the barrier over on Alastair's side, though.
Yep. Set up show, set up break blade. So we don't have the running shoes equipped on anyone on Alice.
I believe that is more than likely due to the fact that the optimization command from the vanilla game is absolute trash. Because according to the vanilla game, leather shoes are better than running shoes.
Glasses are better than running shoes.
Well, you see, you get 1 defense point, which is more than the running shoes give you. Therefore, it is the optimal equipment. And we do actually, I didn't realize that we learned X-Fight over on Alastair's side. That's going to help out quite a bit too. I assume that will turn into a freelancer doing Flare Blade once that chemist learns Mix. Would be my guess.
Big golem value.
Necro is weak to all the elements, so choose your favorite element and use it. And watch big numbers.
Round 2, for Freddeh. Let's see if we prepared a different strategy and how it works out.
Well, I saw the image command. Alastair just getting the dark suit from there, so luckily for him, nothing to chase. This probably means we're getting more likely that we're going to see a chain from the submarine key and trench page. So image has to come up immediately. Now we're just going to be using guard strats essentially.
I think we're doing image and then make levels with the chicken knife.
So you could do Maiden Kiss Revivify, right? To just give Kiss a Blessing to Bartz. And once the image goes away from Bartz, just redo Kiss a Blessing. Minnow also likes to counter. So as you get further and further into the fight, counters will be more and more prevalent, which is unfortunate. Alastair getting that pyramid page. We'll see if he chases that, or if he is going to go into library.
Oh. Okay. This looks like it's a library play.
So, at this point, Freddie's fight is free, because all he has to do is just image or guard or do anything, and Bartz cannot take damage.
Chicken
Like I said,
knife.
Knight is one of those more interesting classes, just because you have that utility.
And it looks like we're going to the Adamantite instead on Alastair's side.
A little unfortunate. We do see a panda at 12,000 HP. We get the Meteor, and there's the submarine key. That is... there is no branching path from Fork Tower. We get our submarine key immediately. We know where to go at this point.
And it's ugh.
And we get a shoot. Gonna want to
Well,
go.
yeah, we have running shoes on. Drain is the big worry.
Mean like that.
Yeah. Now you go and get stoned, unstone, swing.
If you have a high potion, probably something you want to do.
Should be fine at this point.
Yeah, there isn't
Climb.
much HP here. We're gonna want the golem coming up just in case Kara does decide to miss.
Oh, the golem did fall off.
Yep. That definitely did more than 3,000 damage. Which is a
Looks
good
like
sort of baseline. There's Shout. Shout is down. Enjoy your free shout. Freddie or Alastair just getting an Oricon dagger, so nothing good there. Is avoiding library, despite having it for its fire, is certainly a choice.
Did Alastair ever do the big bridge?
You know what? He might not have. That is fair. Does he remember he has the big bridge key?
Okay.
That it.
Healed, set up, now he's ready for the back of the adamantite.
Because at this point, my assumption is that Alastair has forgotten that he has the big bridge key. So, Trench, going to Trench first makes sense here. Your shots
You
can
have
only
to
empower you.
Use the warp shard.
Yep. Have to warp shard in order to get the submarine online. No, Alastair did not get anything from the Flying Lanka, and Trenzos is a dagger. So in vanilla, these Gate Guardians are gargoyles with 5,000 HP each. In the randomizer, they are a boss with 10,000. In this case, it is Leviathan, which I am sure Freddie is very happy to see here and not elsewhere, although I believe one character does have a core.
Tanya. Leviathan loves showing up at the Twintania spot.
Yes. 1 bolt 3 magic sword will do it. There it is.
Yeah. Now, if we hadn't had the Berserker do damage, we would have been 1 damage.
So the interesting thing about it now is, so Freddie doesn't know Necro is out, and he never will, because I can't imagine a world in which he does Odin Cave. There's Mimic ability. That's nice, especially with a Freelancer. The Alastair, on the other hand, is going to know that Bahamut, Necro, and Leviathan are out of the pool, and Minnow. So if it gets to that point, and Omni, I would do similar to what you would do, Joe, and just not bother saving throughout the void.
As long as I trusted my MP pools and my Neo X Death plan, it can work.
Yeah, for me, and Joe, I know we're facing each other, but I made no secret on this. For me, it's all dependent on what bosses still exist in the pool. I'm very hesitant to go and not do any saving if I know a Necro or a Leviathan is still around, or a Bahamut, because I don't trust my luck nearly that much.
That's fair.
We do see triplets here in the Earth Crystal, essentially, in the Arcuavis spot. Not too bad. Has a little bit under 3,000 HP each. There's our summon
Black Mage,
4.
so that's Doom.
We do have summon 4.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, so you don't have to be a summoner in the...
But here's where the Mimic command comes in. Mimic is honestly one of the best commands you can have for the final fight. It speeds up so much because you don't have to do any menuing. Just a Moogle suit from Flying Wonka Ruins. So a little bit of a bust. Could have Guild Toss in there or something. But we'll see.
Excellent. Brave Blades for sale. I don't think you need them.
No,
Tempting.
I think you'd almost rather just save your money for possible Guild Toss strats if you find it in the void.
Are we going to check the hints for no reason? No. Fair enough.
I mean, Alastair is going to get funneled to the Submarine Key, or this Elder Branch eventually.
The pyramid page is the main thing that can be left to really unlight him. Lots of moon. Guild Toss. Level 2 old.
So not Samurai, but Guild Toss. Okay, 40,000 HP of Stalkers. Well, there's a great way to get around this. And it's called Death by Math.
Oh, or that.
Sleep does work. Unfortunately, you have a Zerker, so sleep will last all of one turn. If you're using a Zerker, I'm not entirely sure if it's really all that much worth it to do sleep. Ideally, to me, I mean, yeah, Freddeh is just gonna basically let the Zerker go at him. The Zerker gets lucky, well, you enjoy your free damage. Or
Good
if you get lucky. But if you want to do Death by Math strats, we have Mix. Don't have L5 Doom on Freddie's side, but you basically Dark Shock 3 times to get Stalker to level 1, mix up a Samson power to get to level 11, and then Dark Shock into L5 Doom.
And we managed to put it to sleep, so we know what the target is and just need to hit it.
Yep.
With damage.
Now Alastair is going to go into Pyramid. The good news is he is running out of things that this could possibly be.
Please don't be Shrine Page. I don't care that it not being Shrine Page means half Shrine Page pretty much. There's a chance it's behind Steamship, but oh. All right.
I mean, all you have to do on Freddie's side is just get lucky enough to sword dance multiple times in a row. I don't know that feeling a lot of times, but all you have to do is do it and then remind stalkers that, yes, you are someone who doesn't exist. Please go away.
Yeah. The lucky thing was the after sleep was prepped. Oh, there's Mix. After Sleep Blade was prepped, managed to both find the correct target and get a sword stance immediately. After that, well, as long as the Berserker doesn't wake it up, you're good to just keep on spamming.
So yeah, we knew it was going to be on a way to a tablet, and it just happened to be the second tablet immediately. We just have the fourth tablet left, and that chain is going to go through Barrier Tower. Worst thing would be
hopefully be the last time Freddeh visits here. Yeah, I'm not certain there's too much for immediate power, so this should be a last visit for Big Guard, and you don't come back once you get.
So, if this is the fourth tablet directly, it is an unfortunate chain for either the pyramid or the back of library. Luckily, if it's through the back of the library, you get the answer from the front. Otherwise, Alastair is just going to go into an even deeper rabbit hole in the next 10 minutes or so. But there's a decent, because we're sort of at the point where we only have, I believe, 3 checks available that are unknown to us: the back of library, pyramid page, and the barrier tower.
Steamship. Steamship 1.
Oh, we do have the steamship key. Okay. I
That
missed
was
that.
also fork.
Ah. I
So,
just stopped paying attention at that point. Never mind then.
we got the sub key, but yes. Walls Tower key is the only Walls Tower key and Mirage Radar are the only chaining outside of Shrine Page, and there's a couple spots they could be through. The boring one is, ooh, we just got poisoned and then hit the trap. But the unfortunate one is probably if those lie through Barrier Tower.
Skipping the chest, there are 2 trap chests in barrier tower. This makes sense. You already have all the power you need. Why bother? You already have 2 running shoes. There are generally at most 2 running shoes available in a seed unless you can buy them.
Yep,
so
Summon in Bahamut does mean we have our AoE method and no need to math strats.
And there's Califasteri. Or not Califasteri. Catastrophe, yeah. It's nearly midnight. Either way, we have a time mage that is hasted, so
fight's done.
Catastrophe will do nothing, because the script of Catastrophe is if some character is floating, do nothing except gravity 100. Alternatively, go get a sword stance, and then have your rune axe under float Kara.
Do bad
and
thing.
Don't worry about it. There's the Walls Tower key.
The chain continues. All right, we're about at the point. Is it double required North Mountain? I'm still going to stick with yes, as much as I don't want it to be.
I am going to go with no, just to be A, contrarian, and B, I don't want to see Mirage shopping on Freddie's side.
Me. Yeah, it's probably behind Mirage. I don't want it. You. No, let's disagree, and also I don't want to see. Makes perfect sense to me.
I mean, I can't.
We get
I don't
the
think there's anything
and are sad.
I mean, what do we have left that is scary in the void? Now nothing.
Let me see. Yeah.
Reg 2 is about the rudest thing, but you have ways
Reg
to deal
4.
with that. And there's the 4th tablet, so looks like Rabbit Hole City, possibly for Alastair. Other than that, Freddie has his 4th tablet. He has the ability to go through the entirety of the void and beat Xdef to finish up the 3rd place match of this tournament. All that is stopping him is a number of bosses on the way.
What that number is, we'll find out. Probably 6.
Probably 6. If only because actually Freddie doesn't have knowledge on either Bahamut or Necro. And seeing those fights in the void is generally not a good time.
That is slow.
Oh, L5 Doom? Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have lightning AoE, it's still probably faster, but...
It's probably faster than Soft's... Wow, a gold armor.
Oh, it's definitely faster than Soft's. If you're asking that question, you haven't done that in a long time, because Darkness takes forever as well.
Yes.
So Freddie's into the void at 132.18.
I'm 122.18. Bahamut 8. I'm going 151.30 finish.
I mean, I think realistically you could be finished in a 147.
Yes. I did rough math of like 11 minutes through for Ned.
Yeah. 15 minutes for the void is about normal if you're not running into anything rude. There's the Mirage Radar. We are really hoping
it kills him, but
Alastair is very considerably behind, and as we were mentioning, I don't think there's much that really stops Freddie in this void. Whether or not he knows that is a moot point, because we know what bosses don't exist in the pool at this point. That's the important thing. We're not going to see, not that it matters with this particular setup, but we're certainly not going to see Minnow in the Caliphysteria spot with no great way to deal with it.
You had dance.
Huh? Alright, well, we got no help in Mirage.
Which means the 5th path the void hint is in Trench.
We get Coronavirus. Choose your AoE.
I agree, that is correct.
Yes. As long as you do not use Odin, use Bahamut. Bahamut will kill. Odin does not work against Poroboros. That will actually cause Life 2 to happen on all the Poroboros. If you cast it enough time, it will work because they will run out of MP, because Life 2 does cost quite a bit.
It's at minimum, though, likely going to be 12. So it'll probably be 13 Odins to clear the fight.
Yeah, regardless, not very, not recommended.
I've done it in underwater walls.
So, Alastair, unfortunately, losing the race with the NPC. Just need to remember to hold down enter or exiting that door. Sometimes the NPC, very rarely, can move right on you. And then you're just confused.
Huh? Dancer white 3. Huh. Well, I guess white 6 was in a book.
Yes. So Mirage shops have been nerfed a little bit compared to previous versions of the randomizer. You still have 8 shops there, so you still get a considerable number of items, which probably means it's still quite powerful shopping. There's our Greg 4. Might be able to take it out here, assuming you get a lucky sword stance.
You need probably 1 sword stance, and not that.
Not that is important. It was not particularly great for the health of Kara. We do get into the script now of Gilgamesh 4. This is now essentially turned into a free fight. Greg 4 is honestly not dangerous at all. Just annoying. The most dangerous part about Greg 4 is that if you haven't beaten Necro yet, and you can't kill Greg 4 outright, you might be sitting through 5 minutes of cutscenes.
Yay!
We do get Golem up in North Mountain 2 in the Bahamut spot, so we do get a summon in a summon spot. It is going to take a little bit of time here. We got 20,000 HP on that zombie dragon. Is weak to fire. Cannot be broken.
No. There we go. No. 50-50 odds.
Yeah. Freddeh is not saved. Well, maybe he's deciding to save now.
Doesn't have white mage set up, so needs the cabin. Be careful not to run into that little ball. It's not a good time.
It's a great time. So Omega and Shinryu are also randomized in a seed of Career Day. So the weakness of Omega is not immediately going to be Bolt 3. If it were, well, we'd actually be able to beat Omega with this party rather easily. But we don't know what Omega is weak to, and he's weak to a random status effect as well. Of course, Omega does have innate wall. But it is very interesting when one of the randomized abilities of Omega is Dance of the Dead and reflects onto Omega. reflects back onto Omega, who is then weak to zombie and then kills himself.
No shrine page is good for Alastair. And we see level 5 Doom was sitting in the void all along.
Nice. Mary Jean here, I believe this is Apocalypse.
Yes.
Alastair is finally going through the library after stopping here a number of times. I believe is just sort of out of things to do.
Has big bridge, but that's it.
Okay, I don't believe he remembers he has Big Bridge Wiki at this point.
That's fair.
I really don't think he remembers he does. Or he might see that he has it, but thinks he's already done it.
Yeah. That's never happened to me before. It's happened to me.
Freddeh getting some nice stances and some nice hits off of that card. Of Kara takes care of that Mary Jean, gets the save point. It's going to take the time to tent, save, and then go on his merry way to beat the rest of the void.
Yeah. At this point, with these levels, the Berserker should more than not be doing those quad 9s.
Here's a time waster for you.
Well, we have Odin and level 2.
Gotta do 5 hits, essentially. Arcuatus has 4,000 HP per phase here. So certainly will one hit from Kara will absolutely transition phase. Unfortunately, you have to hit.
There's phase 1. That's not Odin. We don't have X Zone. This Odin could do it, but we're thinking the Berserker will go.
Alastair finally getting the Elder Branch. It's going to... I don't even know if you loot out more forest at this point, but it looks like Alastair is deciding to do it.
It's habit at this point, I'd expect.
Yeah.
There we go. 4 down. That pops up 5 Doom it. Or if our Berserker pops up, we can murder it.
We just went with straight murder. Ah, that was White Wind in that chest. Okay. There was one chest in the third Morph Forest screen that Freddeh skipped.
Damn.
And I'm curious if Alastair is going to pick it up. Freddeh missed the chest that was at the bottom of the screen.
Ah.
Rainbow suit.
Huh. That would have allowed for running shoes.
Running shoes ribbon. We do get one of the freest bosses of Career Day in the
50% of the time it works every time.
80%.
Oh, 80. Got it.
Yep. Also known as, if you're doing a Final Fantasy V speedrun, 0%. You get 2 shots, if I
then
remember
you
the
die?
inventory correctly of Final Fantasy V. If you missed a 2, then your route is pretty much to the point where you just reset. There's your Greg 2. I hope you have Mute Blade.
I mean, we do.
I hope he has it equipped.
No, I think we went. It looks like we went with some. No, wait, that's Summon Mix. That's not Bart's. That's Ferris. We do.
I mean, it's 50,000. It's not that bad. It just is
A
gonna
Mute
drag
Blade
on.
would allow that last 20,000 or so to. Yeah, our people don't even need levels.
Nope.
And Gloof is dead.
So, newer to this version of the randomizer, the amount of XP you get from any boss spot is equal to the amount of HP that boss has. So,
40,000.
so it's maxed
Okay.
out at 65,535, as you would expect from any sort of signed 4-bit number. And then you get EXP sharing or EXP splitting as it is. So if you have all 4 characters alive, then you'll get 16,636 EXP for each character.
To go.
See what Alastair does when confronted with this minnow at Fork. You're just glad that it's the first one and not the second one.
To go. Uh, 2,000 left.
So jump is really weird to me
And
because in lower spots, it almost seems like Greg 2 underflows on jump, where he'll do like 800, 900 damage for no reason. And then he gets to Twintania where he doesn't do much at all. And there's just no reasoning behind it. Like, I think Greg 2 in like some of the early spots do like 600 damage per jump. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's a SNES Final Fantasy that's been randomized.
I mean, if you want to look at the history of the randomizer, Greg 2 is one of the bosses that has given Clear Tonic, who is the person who has made most of the randomizer. Him and Carulius are the 2 masterminds of making Career Day. Greg 2 is notorious for just giving a bunch of problems, both Greg 2 and the Greg 2 spot. Of course, the Greg 2 spot was mostly because that was sort of Clear Tonic's testing spot. The other bosses are Sandworm, which is a broken boss that is barely held together. And
one.
a couple other ones.
Gilfox one shot into Immortal Sandworm.
Do not death by math. The Sandworm, it will not work. You'll just soft lock your game. We see Alastair going for the just get lucky strats, and that is hope Ferris blocks enough times. Unfortunately, did not get away with it.
Ow! Forgot how hard it hurts there. And yeah, we are setting up, and we get to say goodbye to our Berserker. Sadly.
So how's this fight gonna go, Joe?
Looking. I missed quite the entire setup. Are we going Singer Mix?
That's a good question. Mix is faster. I would assume Mix. Especially if you have Mimic.
If we're going mix, you give mix and mimic and summon to enough people that you can mimic with everyone pretty much and start off a mix or a summon with someone, and we'll just mix up. We'll start off mixing up Phoenix down with Revivify for a life shield to guard against Tree X Death's White Hole. It casts Petrify and Death on people, so if you give protection to Death, you also gain protection from the petrification of that attack. So you'll mix that up to make sure everyone's safe. Then you will switch to boosting levels until you get to max levels. And if we had an elemental summon like Leviathan or Sildra, you would then boost elemental capabilities, but with just Bahamut, you're done after that, and you just go Bahamut and Mimic.
Yeah, the Mimic command is particularly important here because it does not consume any MP, which is huge. Because MP, especially with something like Bahamut, very much does eat into your MP pool.
Do we have the Masamune on somewhat? Or was that on Alastair's side?
That's on Alastair's side because I was in Moogle Village.
Do we have time on anyone? I saw a white summon mix.
I mean, I don't think... We have one turtle shell from Timmy, I think.
So we can get 3 hasted people, which should be enough.
Yeah, it would be, or it should be. If you are careful about your ATB, it should be enough.
That might have been what he was looking around on his character to start.
It's not like the last time I played a Career Day seed, I forgotten to put time on somebody and had a very interesting Neo X-Step fight that should have been free. We do see Alastair going for the second attempt.
Done.
Yep, all Alastair has to do now is hold A. Arts will automatically guard Ferris because Ferris is at crit. Bartz cannot take any damage because he is guarding. And so the only thing left is going to be that holy.
Looks like my estimate on time is going to be a little off already. But yeah, good guesses are tough to go.
Indeed, a vanilla minnow to that sub key.
And then Alastair will get the news. You're not done.
Nope, you have to beat the shoot. Enjoy.
Maybe we have a ribbon on our freelancer. One could only hope. Stop is also stop, attack, stop, attack.
You have to very much know what you're doing for that.
Yeah, the ATB bar is just a hair messed up for that. The stop is, you just parry. You parry with
Alastair is doing the strat of cast L2 old, spam L5 doom, and hope it hits. Because MP is scaled, and we actually gave Minnow MP. Not a lot of MP. If you actually come in with a Dancer, and it will actually go away pretty quickly. Alastair does get the L5 Doom. Only took a couple of attempts.
Nicely done. And Fork Tower is cleared by Alastair.
I feel like this buff phase has gone on for longer than I would think it should.
only one mixer with 6 mixes means you have to go 2 cycles for each person. Unless you're just going to go to level 80. So a little bit
Actually,
of that.
the way the haste casters are, that's not entirely true.
Oh, true. You have haste on. Is the haste on our mic or no?
No,
Or
it's on.
our mixer is not hasted.
Correct.
So that's actually a good thing.
You
Ish.
can always do a little bit of optimization when you're doing haste rather than haste 2. Just based on sort of turn orders if you're using mimic strats. Freddeh has reached the point where he is going to hold A and hope everything works out well. We shall see.
6,000, so about
He needs 8 turns of
12
it.
12 Bahamut's will clear the second phase.
46,000 HP. Eh.
Yeah, so 8 for the first, and then so we'll need 20 Bahamut's total. Oh, well, that one does not have summon. Or
Yeah,
one.
so Bahamut's particularly poor just simply because it's non-elemental. So you can't boost it by a wizard rod. You can't boost it from, say, your mix.
So
And
you
it's
gotta
a
have
little bit unfortunate here too because the summoner is doing a lot more damage. That's a little bit due to levels, but also the magic power of a summoner versus a freelancer that doesn't actually have a magic job equipped. Or just
It's
summon 3.
very noticeable once you've mixed up the levels.
Yep.
In
Because when
this
you
case,
equip something like White 5, White 6, summon 5, summon 5, Black 6, you will get the innate magic of that ability. So if you're doing mage strats, it's always good to supplement your freelancer with a magic ability, just so you get a little bit more magic power, assuming you've not had it completely mastered, in which case it's innate anyways. But we do see Xdef being defeated.
we
Millions
have
of souls.
2 people who should survive the Almagest. I think we're going to be seeing one. One, since we're only going with 2 hasted people, Sing strats might have potentially been a little better, just because you can boost your speed and agility, and even potentially boost magic of everyone.
Yeah. This, you're going to see an Almagest here. You do get a little bit more damage done on Neo Xdef. But the ATB here is not terribly great for Freddeh. And it's really only going to be one character that survives Almagest. Bartz might survive the Almagest, but he's not going to survive the sap.
Yeah.
So this is
And we
not...
get 3 cycles, so we either need to recognize when that we need to finish prepping in a way, or
Cannot start with Mimic. You do have to summon before you can start mimicking, because the targets are all invalid. I do see Alastair going through the catastrophe on the top of Barrier Tower. We'll get, I believe, the Waltz Tower key from this.
Yep.
That leads to the 4th tablet. But yeah, this is definitely not a free Neo Xdef fight. This can get very, very tricky. Very spooky. Not having, I mean, 2 casted characters is nice.
but the
but
2
when you're
hasted
doing,
characters aren't set up to live.
that is part of the problem.
I'd feel a little more comfortable if Carol is. Come on.
The other thing is that Almagest is gonna fire right before the back part fires, the magic part. And so you can very well just see
Almagest into,
say, Delta attack.
Yeah.
Or flare. Which is you're not surviving that. Yeah, that Bartz is not Bart's is not doing nearly enough damage. So my guess is going to come out in probably before the next Bahamut.
I was thinking maybe right after Lena, but definitely before Kara gets turn. You could, if we can get Kara's turn, maybe a life 2 on Ferris should be what we go for. Or if Kara is our mix, no, Bart's is our mixer.
You life 2 on Bart's, and then you mix a resurrection, because Bart's is going to die here, and there's Kara, and so this is going to be
mix
a
resurrection. Mix a resurrection.
Got a run buffer it. Well, there's the spell. That's not bad, but you really just need to mix a resurrection here. Can't go Phoenix down.
Because we're about to get shaking for the next.
And that Meg isn't going to do anything, so that's going to be a wipe. So we got to do it again. Meanwhile, Alastair does get his 4th tablet. He just has the Trench page to go, or the Great Trench. He does know that is Path to the Void, so should be heading there immediately. Even if he didn't, that Trench does have 3 hints. So you'd go there anyways. Also, you're out of things to do except for that big bridge key.
Grabbing blue for big guard and should be more than fine at this point.
Yeah, that will definitely make things safe. Yeah, we're going to see the nearly the same setup from Freddeh.
I missed if he put time on anyone to finish hasting the party.
I missed it as well.
I know he changed 2 things. He gave one of the whites blue. I don't recall what he gave the other white. What that blue will do is, that's a little less MP magic power than white 6, isn't it?
White 6 versus time... Oh, he has time 6. Time 6 should be more.
Blue, though.
Oh, blue. Yeah, blue is less.
And he put mix on Lena. Nope, there's time. There we go.
That should be significantly more smooth. Also now has 2,000 HP on Bart's.
A little bit of a help. I think he might have had 2,000 HP on Bart's, but Bart's got punched once.
Maybe.
There's a white hole.
Take care of that eventually.
Yep, we have enough Phoenix Downs.
I wonder if Freddeh is going to magic a lamp this time in Neo X stuff and just take care of that back part.
That would work. We might, if he doesn't trust his damage, see even at least 1 Mind Blast if Freddeh has it.
What you do is you really plan it out so that you elemental power your summoner and then have your summoner cast Leviathan from the magic lamp.
For an extra 3,000 or so damage.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, you're doing the magic lamp cast anyways. Alastair is doing his great sell-off.
Yep. Gotta get enough money for Neo X stuff. And maybe a little more. all of these great darts that we don't need. It's a trap. So
Just keep mixing.
just mixing. Do, 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 do. At least the music's good.
The game I haven't played in a bit. Theater Rhythm. Sir will get his second tablet. Does have that fourth tablet already. So just needs to go and beat Stalkers. The thing about it is, like, who was here? Oh yeah, 40,000
yeah. Only one of the most annoying bosses in the game.
That Ferris does look hasted.
Yep.
Because that ATB is starting halfway on the bar.
So we did rehaste Ferris.
Yes. Although I think Ferris probably has running shoes on, so.
I think it might have been Lena Cara this time.
Oh, okay. And Alastair sees the great news that yes, stalkers are here. And unfortunately hits the back 3 times in that one.
Is the damage completely split? How does it calculate which damage actually is applied to the true one when you do that?
I honestly have no idea because I haven't looked
Which
into
is
that.
fair. You hope it was the one that took more.
Well, you hope it all just it all
Or
goes
that
down at the
too.
same time, right?
Because I know AoE, it doesn't. Even if you put them all to sleep and do AoEs, you still have to technically be doing full damage to all of them. You aren't doing quadruple damage.
What you do is you make sure you have an ice shield or a flame shield, and you just do
Shield
AoE
drop.
against stalkers, and you just don't care about the blazes. Because
Back
blaze
when-
is, of course, ice elemental.
Back before the XP switch, stalkers were definitely a little bugged with how much XP they could give. If you just had one single driver, occasionally getting some large numbers of XP.
What was it? Bow Castle got you to level 35 in one fight from like
Yep.
2.
It was like level 4 or 6.
Either way, we got Freddeh going back into Neo X-Def. We got Alastair Bolt 3ing Stalker. This is a little bit better setup for Freddeh. Almagest will not take out anybody with the big guard on. Of course, we
Might
could
take
get a
out
dispel.
Ferris.
It's Ferris is currently not. within range.
The Summoner Mage. Yeah, that's fair.
Dispel though is still a thing. But we will see if Freddeh does use that magic lamp this time, or is this going to be content to continue to cast Summoner?
And we have Stalkers asleep for Alastair, so just keep
it is.
open. Stalker died for Alastair.
Now
Just
you
wait
just-
for him to wake up and go.
Stalkers are
we're dead.
Stalkers are interesting because sometimes they don't know they're dead and will continue to attack you.
Yeah, that's the worst wipe. I won! I lost.
So Alastair does get his all 4 tablets. Now can go through the void. Does get his complementary mix.
So,
Freddeh is
summon
just
out,
mimicking.
mimics firing.
Alastair did something that I never do, which is remembering where camping gear is.
It's in the seed.
I think Bart's has a ribbon because managed to not get petrified from that Delta attack.
There was one ribbon in
Yes.
Castle Exdeath, if I remember right.
Yep.
And Bart's was the one who was dancing.
This will go smoothly for Freddeh. Helps when you are actually hasted as a party and you have protection from, I guess. Alastair is just starting the void. Freddeh would have to take a couple more wipes in order for Alastair to catch up. Alastair would have a quicker Neo X-Dash due to Guild Toss, but I would say it's very unlikely for Freddeh to actually wipe this time, just on the basis of having Big Guard.
Yep.
And White Wind.
Did he get the White Wind chest?
I thought he did, maybe not.
Yeah, Big Guard. So, outside of Almagest into murder everything but the back into back gets double turn, should be, which could be an Almagest, could be fine.
And Medio is like, the math behind Medio sometimes is just completely bugged. But we do see that double turn, we just have the back part left. This Bahamut should do it. There's only 5,000 HP difference between the middle part and the back part. As long as it does, well, didn't do 5,000, but that is enough to kill the back part. Get your GGs out. Freddeh does take third place in the tournament as the winner of this match, with a official race time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 38 seconds. Meanwhile, Alastair is going for the Purgos.
Does get the kill on all of them. Sometimes that's a worry.
And we will see if we can get Freddeh in here for an interview. Speaking of which, Freddeh, welcome. And GG's.
Yeah. GG's. I don't like doing Bahamut, Ned, but I couldn't think of anything better. Maybe just doing, like, dance strats or something, but...
Death by math.
I didn't have any of the... I guess I got level 5 Doom eventually, but... I never went and picked up Dark Shot because I never got the levels for level 5 Doom, and by that point I was doing, like, double 9999s with my...
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether or not you bought it from, I believe it was Sergate.
Stargate, yeah. Or no, more.
More, okay.
Level 3 Flare and Dark Shock were in the same shop. Good times.
So, I want to ask straight off, when you got the anti-barrier from the Caesar fleet, were you aware at that point that you were in go mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing stuff for XP and just stuff. Mostly XP, honestly.
Okay.
I probably could have skipped basement. I think I might have been like, wait a second. Because I think I was looking for sub key, and I think after I did basement, it was climbing. Wait a second. It has to be in fork. Cool. Okay, so I'll go do that next.
Okay.
I couldn't remember if getting Kara messed up the underflow, so I was kind of avoiding doing that for as long as possible. Turns out, I guess my issue was for not.
As long as you don't do anything to Kara's abilities, equipment, any of that stuff, her stats do not update.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so because I never messed with it, it's stayed the same. And I had no reason to mess with it, so I never did.
And then once you went and turned her into a mage, she got higher magic and more speed for the final.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I wasn't gonna berserk Ned. That seems like a bad idea. Usually
Is it the?
here.
Is it? Four Zerkers against
Yes.
Ned. Come on.
I mean, I could have. I guess I got another rune axe. No one to underflow it, but I had another rune.
3 Zerkers and a bard.
The Bard has Berserk.
And the bard has berserk. Yeah, you gotta have that dragon heart berserk.
Yeah, Apollo's Heart.
Yeah, I think I could have saved the first Ned fight. I did a regular Phoenix out instead of mixing it. If I would have mixed it, probably would have survived and made it. I just was kind of annoyed because of my messing up the setup to begin with. And then it did more damage than I remembered it doing with no shell, because it's been that long since I've actually gotten hit by an Alma guest.
Yeah, I'm guessing you meant to go in there with time originally.
I or blue or a second mix, like not 2 whites, that's for sure.
But yeah, it would have been interesting to see if a resurrection mix would have saved that Neo X stuff. It would have been close
Would have been
because Grand
close.
Cross was coming out.
True,
So-
Grand Cross might have wrecked it, but I was only a couple hits away. I only needed to get Ferris up and do a couple more Bahamut's. Of course, I wasn't counting the first time, so I counted the second time. Didn't even get Alma guest off barely.
I am guessing when you started spamming Bahamut's that first time and you saw those numbers, you were just like,
Oh, I knew it was going to be a problem the second I realized I didn't bring time, or blue, or a second mix even. It's just one of those like, oh, this is going to be tight. I don't think this is going to make it, but hopefully I can just eat the Alma guest and recover with my 2 white mate. No, they died.
For
Okay,
the
no.
record, Giltoss was at Moogle Village behind Flying Lanka Ruins at the Earth Crystal. Don't ask me what the adamantite is. I forgot.
That's
Um,
awful.
Was it Steamship maybe? Like that's the only thing I could think
It
of.
was at the carbuncle spot.
Oh,
Oh
Carbuncle
yeah,
spot.
yeah.
Wait, was he not in Go mode going into Excess Castle?
He
Did not.
faded front of library, and then we're pretty sure forgot he had the big bridge key. So never got fire.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
forgot.
was
Yeah, that
unfortunate.
was Ifrit was a pretty big pickup. I remember. Was that what was that Trench? That must have been Trench.
No.
Ifrit's fire was from the big bridge key. Which
Ifrit's
he
fire
got-
was. But what did Biblos or what did Ifrit give you?
The Elder Branch
Oh, that
Yeah,
was the
branch.
branch. Of
Yeah.
course.
is the piece that gives you the knowledge that you are in go mode once you got the anti-barrier.
That'll do it. So
I
did they
remember-
do like a bunch of other World 3 stuff before going back for Ifrit and Big Bridge?
Yep.
I guess not Big Bridge, but
I think we saw everything besides Big Bridge and the Ifrit's fire check and anything that led to that, which must have been Falls Page and Shrine Page. So I'm guessing Shrine Page and Underwater Walls.
Oh yeah, that place exists.
Yep.
it does.
But no, I mean, a little bit of obviously a little bit of messy ending, but otherwise pretty clean. Other than that Minnow at its vanilla location, which
I wasn't
You know.
planning on setting up for Minnow because I'd already had a bunch of rough fights. So I think it's more likely to be a insta fight than a rough one. And of course it's Minnow and Shoat.
and it would have been perfectly fine if Minnow's first attack went on your back road character and not your knight.
Yeah.
Because if Minnow decided to do it that direction, then it's a free fight at least, because then you can do card strats. Unfortunately,
Sure.
it didn't happen. I had to take the reset.
Did my other character I guess I could have If I had guard strats, how could I have even killed it though?
You'd have to give your mage an actual
Something
weapon,
and
but
boost levels and then Zerk.
Yeah, I
Not
guess I could
fantastic.
front row rune blade or edge or something. If I still had it by that point, I forget.
yeah. May have been slower, to be honest.
Yeah, then just resetting and imaging. Yeah.
But you did get through it. And then you
Yep.
probably saw the other boss you didn't want to see in Fork Tower.
I was like, "What is this Fork Tower? This isn't fun."
A good one.
Like I'm glad I'm in go mode for. Oh yeah, and so Fork Tower we get Minnow into Shote, two of the worst fights to be there, and then we go to Trench where we find Stalkers.
Hey, all you have to do is get lucky on your sword dances, which you pretty much
You
did.
know, honestly, like that first sword dance sleeping the one pretty much won it for me, so I'll take it.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get lucky.
It's true. Oh, at least it wasn't in much threat of dying with Golem, so
How much, when you... I think in the order you did it, right? You saw... Did you see the burning hint first, or did you see the Fork Tower hint first?
does it really matter?
They're the
If you
same
saw,
hint.
if you saw the burning baron hint was before you saw your Fork Tower, you'd probably just assume Fork Tower was path anyways.
I mean, I think that's what I did. I know I got burning first. I didn't really think far enough to worry about if it was a fork seed or not. I was already assuming it was a fork seed from the moment it got rolled. So
I roll a fair bit. I roll a lot of fork jets. It's a jet. You just have to do fork.
Yeah, I mean, technically this was a jet seed. You know, if you don't count those 3 bosses in a row. But yeah.
Alastair showed off a little bit deaf by math on the show and got the L5 Doom kill.
Nice.
But you had a lot of fun with that underflow. As soon as you got that Giant's Glove, you immediately booked it to Lix. Got that Berserker.
Oh yeah, I saw the Doom X, I'm like, or the Rune X, I'm like, I know where Berserker is already. I marked it down just in case. And then I got the giant glove off of, what was it, like Tycoon Meteor or something? Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, well I guess we're gonna go grab Berserker and do Underflow.
Yeah, I saw Alastair got the Giant's Glove first. I'm like, oh, if we get a Rune Axe, we know where Berserker is, and you're in your item menu right after that. I don't know where that was from, but
it was from the castle, Kuza.
okay. One of the decent.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
I think it was in a location in there, but it was there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of goodies from Kuza this time around. I was kind of regretting not grabbing blue or big guard at some point, but worked out fine.
Yeah. Who needs blue mage?
That was my... Oh yeah, shoutouts to frickin' Wizard Rods and all 3 Elemental Magics level 3, and never finding black above level 4. Or Black Mage. I think I did find Black Mage eventually, didn't I? Didn't I buy Black Mage from Trench or something? Yeah.
It was in Trench shop.
It was too late for me to care about switching. I forgot I even got it.
Don't forget the early Doom as well.
Oh yeah, the early Doom break as well. You're like, cool.
Hey,
I had
you could use break
for,
immediately.
Yeah, all those bosses that I could have broken that I couldn't just one shot anyway.
That's the way it goes.
I don't think I insta killed a single boss this season. I don't think I did. Not a single one. I was ready. I was ready to one shot lots of bosses. I had mix with Death Potion ready. I had golem or not golem, shout ready. I had break sword ready. Like, I just didn't have a great way of killing non-heavy.
Did you not one-shot the Chimera Brain on Ziza Fleet?
No,
Was
I
it
killed it with
shots?
damage.
Well, that's just because you had too much damage.
I had too much damage. There, I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't have
I-
your skill set.
I could have gotten break sword up, but it just died.
Just sword dance into max damage on your rune axe. That's all you need.
I don't even think I was sword dancing. I think I still had a rune. It was just 2 rune axes. Also, I had rune sword equipped, which doesn't work with sword magic. So, whoops.
Yeah.
Uh,
There were bosses you could have instant killed. You just didn't.
that's true. There was 1 or 2 that I could have. Well, there was a bunch at the beginning too, but I one-shot all of those with the rune axe. So,
And
Yeah.
we're seeing some nice little bit of singing here. Our level side.
yay, sing.
We also tossed Mix for life shield.
So it was interesting in the beginning. So you get Bard and you get Chemist. So what really put your decision to make a lot of Bards in your party rather than Chemist in the beginning?
I was looking for something to level quickly, just in case I wanted to sing. I wasn't really much thought to it. I didn't. Once I found a mage, I swapped more to just getting chemist up and switching to mages. But I think blue mage was my first mage.
And then you found Sing in Crescent.
Yeah.
As it happens. Actually, I think my favorite reaction from you this race was buying White 4 in Karnak, immediately going into World 2, checking the book in Surgate, and finding White 6.
I'm glad you saw that. I'm like, God damn it.
But yes, Alastair is going into Neo XF and does have Guild Toss.
Flare hurts.
Also
Flare
has a dead
does.
Ferris. Yeah.
2800
Flare.
damage from a flare. Did more than the 2400 HP Ferris had.
Yep.
All the HP. Just to get one shot anyway. It's okay, 3 people can guild toss easy.
3 hasted people. No speed, but it's fine.
Yeah. You only need 7 of them.
And the ATP is such that you just hold A here, so.
Yep.
Not like Almagus can kill you anyways.
That's what I thought too.
I mean, look, everyone could be wearing bone mails, in which case, yeah, Almagus can kill you, but barring that,
Is Bone Mail weak to Almagest?
yeah. Weak to Holy. So if you want your Almagus to do 3200 damage, wear a bone mail. Which is really funny when you think about it, because there are Zerg strats in which you wear a bone mail, use zombie, and use a Doomax for continual healing. So Neo X stuff doesn't like Ferris.
Really
Figured this
doesn't.
out. I believe Neo X stuff is getting Ferris confused with her sister. But this
Lena
happens.
deserves to make it through seeds alive. The game sometimes doesn't think so.
That should
one
be
should
it.
Finish it. So
One more.
GG's Alastair.
GG's.
With a race time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 27 seconds. We did get a Guild Toss kill, and we got a less conventional kill on your side, Freddie.
Did you like watching Mega Player?
Mega Player?
Roughly 70 times.
Doing the math, about 6,000. One that was doing 3,000 20 times.
Yeah, but I did most of it twice.
Hey, you could have had a summoner with Equip X magic.
Alright, I am here
That's true.
now.
That's true. I could have equipped X Magic.
GG's, Alastair.
GG's.
GG's. Oh, what a seed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think your downfall may have been forgetting that you had the big bridge key, which held the Ifrit's fire, which probably would have
Ouch.
pushed you to library.
Oh, yeah, that would have pushed... I knew I had, I just was doing decided to do other stuff.
Ah,
I was
Yeah.
planning on heading to. I think I was right before I headed to World 2 or wanted to buy something from World 2. I forget. So I just did. I got the desert, the sandworm key, worm bait early and just did desert back into library
Yeah.
and
But I
got the pretty early.
but I appreciate your L5 doom kill of Shout.
Honestly, I'm amazed I managed to actually land that. I wasn't sure if it was going to land. This thing I would just have to do the slow way of just stopping him and slowly chipping away at him.
Yeah, that is a fork best left to not happen.
Yeah.
Too bad we had to.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Thanks,
I
Joe.
warned you. It was technically a jet. If you get the Elder Branch, you just have to do that for.
Yeah, I thankfully had enough damage output to just kind of make my way through them.
I was nervous about those drains going into that fight.
Yeah, me too. First one landed on my caster, my
Oof.
non-berserked character, basically. And was like, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine."
Just don't do it again.
Yeah, took me 2 tries to do both fights because the minnow just insta-killed my melee character.
Yeah, Minnow wiped me once. Then the second time I got lucky and he dropped Ferris to critical HP, so I could just use
Yeah.
guard strats.
That works. I just popped on image on both my characters and actually somehow managed to get 3 attacks in a row on Lena, which dropped Lena to crit, which also then made it worse for my image strats because it just kept hitting my main character. I'm like, no, they're both image. Don't guard. Stop guarding. I just need you to dance, Barts, dance.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
really
found.
I'll let you go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I found the pieces really for Underflow, Runax, Double Grip, and that was very useful.
Yeah, I ended up not really dancing that much just because I saw how much RNG had it out for me on Castle X Death, because Bart's got like 1 sword dance and then nothing else, just mystery waltzes.
Oof. Yeah, I think I did jump Holy Spear instead. I probably should have just done Dance Holy Spear in hindsight, but
Yeah. Thankfully I had 3 blue mages spamming level 3 flare.
Yeah, I thought about grabbing level 3 Flare, but I had that Runax, which is like, well, it's gonna die in a few hits anyway. I'll bring a white mage so I can cure 3 if I need to.
Even after the Dynamo.
Yeah, even after the Dynamo.
You were
I
doing
forgot a
40.
backline for the Dynamo. I think I'm still doing like 6,000 or something on good hits.
And then, of
So-
course, if you started the Berserker in the back row, it would have missed the Berserker.
Oh, of
Yeah, of
course.
course. That's how
Every
it always
time.
works.
It's gotta front load the damage. But yeah, most of my damage this seed came from Underflow Runax and Dancing Chicken Knife.
Yeah, that untrapped chicken knife in XDev Castle. XDev Castle had quite good
Yeah,
loot
it
this seed.
was loaded.
Oh yeah.
Great blade. Chicken knife.
Mm-hmm. Also, shout outs to Omni at Lanka Meteor. I had to. I think I only reset once because I had the Berserker, and I just arrow 3'd it down so low.
Yeah, I think both of you reset over that one. Alastair went and equipped Mute Blade.
Yeah.
I didn't reset out of the fight. I just got a
Aries.
Just got one
Hey,
reset from
yeah,
Omni.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Floor Zerker Strats for the Califist Aries spot.
There were a bunch of bombs on my screen. This doesn't work.
I don't want to hit them.
Little did
Oh
we
yeah,
know that-
for Parabolos. Yeah. I just like was about to arrow three them all. I'm like, wait a second. No, I'm gonna arrow through my Berserker.
Yeah, that's probably
I
a good
don't want
idea.
to deal with this. And then one Bahamut took the whole group down.
Yeah, I've definitely had it where I'm like, all right, I have my nice Berserker for damage, enter Void, and let's go. Murder Berserker! Murder Berserker!
Quick,
All
quick,
right.
murder Berserker.
Next fight,
No.
and it's Burrow. Gosh
Oh.
dang it!
Ah, shoot.
Nah.
Okay, well, I need to get going. It's getting late for me.
Yeah.
And even later for everyone else, I think. So
It's nearly 1 o'clock here. But I do want to say GG's to both of you again. Alastair,
Yeah.
unfortunately, just taking a little bit, just avoiding the one thing that had the answer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not, pretty well played. Just
I gave you the
unfortunate
chance to
another
set up,
round.
to catch up.
Rando gonna rando.
And Freddie, of
Sure
course, congratulations on your 3rd place.
Thank you, and good luck
Congrats.
to the both of you on Sunday, right? Sunday.
Sunday,
That's
yes.
Yeah. That'll be a hype race. I'm gonna see if other people sign up, but worst case, I'll be there to commentate. So, want to give people a chance that haven't yet, maybe, or something.
Sunday at for us racing 1 p.m. Eastern. For you, everyone watching, it'll be 1:10 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
But yes, that does. Any last words from either of our racers?
Not really. Just, thanks for having us. Thanks for coming, tracking all that.
Fantasy football is a mistake. That's my final words.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. Well, my team just gave the Chicago Bears their first win since October 2022. So, yeah.
I'm sorry that you're a fan of them.
Hey, look, Dan Snyder is no longer an owner.
That's fair. That's everything could be looking up now at this point.
Yes.
Honestly, I think you should go back to being the football team. That was a better name.
I'm not disagreeing. But yes, I did want to thank you both for putting on a race here. Dreiselizer for tracking. Speedgaming, obviously, for hosting us. It's always a pleasure. And obviously, my co-commentator, Judge Joe, who, as I will say, fight me, Joe. That'll be at 1 p.m. on Sunday on some Speedgaming channel. With that, if there are no Joe, you want to sign us out, or
Thanks everyone for watching. That'll be it for all of us.
thank you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.